All right, so in this video, I want to show you exactly how I was able to make $21,112 with this business model called freelance info consulting. Now, if you never heard about it, I'm going to be able to get in depth on what it actually is and why it works for not only me, but for other people as well, right? Because I feel like a lot of people talk about their business model, preach it's the best, but when it actually comes to going into details on why it works so well and how you're actually able to, make money with this, successful and stuff like that, they don't go into it. That's why I want to take time to make this video and actually just show you, right? And this is the proof if you're wondering. With this is my payment processor with Stripe, and then other kind of wires and stuff like that, right? Um, so if you know anything about me, it took me a while to get here, right? If you looked at any other of my other videos and stuff like that, it took me maybe 3 or 4 years of trying online business, trying different things. Probably where you are right now, just trying a bunch of models, wanting to get into it, but don't know like where to start or what kind of business to actually start to be able to make some good money, right? I was there as well, right? And it took me a long time to be able to figure this out. And I'm not even going to try to convince you that this is the best, because you're going to be able to see it for yourself. You're going to understand why it is actually the best and why people are making so much money with it, because you see it from your own eyes, right? I don't even have to prove it to you, but I do want to still showcase it, right? So again, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the entire step-by-step process. You can literally just copy it and start stacking your 10 to 15K months with its exact business model, right? This is even if you just, have a bit of knowledge, maybe in online business, or you have an idea how it works, or you have some basic skills in the business, in the online business. Maybe you've had an agency before, you've tried some kind of things, you have some skills. This is going to be, a good fit for you as well, right? Now, if you have the attention span of a goldfish, don't actually watch this video, because again, I'm going to go more in depth on how it actually works. So you might just click off now, right? I don't really care. But if you don't, here's exactly what we're going to be covering, right? Why 97% people fail in the business or make money online space, and how to be able to avoid it and not be that person, right? Why selling the shovels is the easiest way to get rich in today's booming online education gold rush. I'm telling you this, but you already knew it, that everybody's selling education, stuff like that. If you don't know, this is where I'm going to. With this business model, you're going to be able to see, right? Why freelance info consulting is different and better than most business models. Again, I know everybody is telling you that their business model is the best, stuff like that. I just want to be able to show you so you can make up your mind, right? But I know it's been for me, because I've tried all the business model that you see, every single one that you see right now on your feed and stuff like that. I've personally tried, and not just tried like for fun 2 weeks. Now I've actually like spent a lot of time doing it, right? And how I got to 21K a month using this model, and I plan to go even really, really farther, right? And the step-by-step roadmap to get your first 5K a week, right? So let's dive right into it, right? So why should you even listen to me in the first place, right? Because I know you see all these kind of people making videos and these Instagrams, TikToks every single day. So why listen to me specifically, right? I want you to listen to me because I'm like more of the reality of the side of things when it comes to the online business. I was exactly in your position for multiple years. I was in school. I was in a 9 to 5 job I didn't like. I tried all the singular business models that you most likely maybe tried or heard about, stuff like that, right? I had a marketing agency that worked a while. I was in the whole SMMA kind of world and kind of time period. I shut it down completely, because again, I was chasing leads all day, dealing with flaky clients, if you want, and doing unpredictable 2 or 3K months, right? But even before that, I tried all the business models that you tried, like copywriting, dropshipping, ecom, whatever, all of them that you've probably heard about. I tried them all, right? And then again, I realized the typical agency model that maybe you're trying out or doing retainers with clients, stuff like that, we were sold, it's kind of dead. There's like zero scalability. It's a daily uphill battle. It's really hard to be able to get a move on this kind of business model. Not that it's a bad business model. When I'm saying it's a bad business model, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's just harder than before, right? So basically, after that, I kind of knew I had to find a smarter and more leveraged vehicle to be able to get the kind of money I wanted, right? And that's exactly when I discovered info consulting, that basically changed my life forever, if you want to say it like that, right? Um, this is some proof, like this is a car I really wanted to get when I was younger, and I finally was able to get and do all the mods I wanted to as well. And this is some payments as well, my emails, this is wires, my straight processors, to be able to actually show you proof that I make money with this. But most importantly, after trying all these kind of different business models, running my own marketing agency, and going through endless trial and error through business models, and finally succeeding in the online business space, I just actually discovered through all those years why 97% of people fail or never achieve any significant success in the long run, right? And that leads us to the next step, identifying the core problem, right? Why is it actually that so many people fail, right? If you clicked on this video, right, it's probably one of two reasons. You've never made money online, right? You maybe tried multiple business for a few months. You watch countless video YouTube, like either this one or other different kind of video YouTube from the big guys if you want, but end up feeling kind of overwhelmed, stuck, or maybe unsure on who or what to actually follow next, right? You're kind of maybe spinning in circles, no clarity, no momentum, and just no results. You're trying thing, you're quitting 2 months later, it's not working, stuff like that, right? And it's overall very, very demotivating. I've been there as well, right? Number two, maybe you've made some money, right? Congratulations to you. It's not everybody that keeps going until they make their first dollar on that, right? But nothing consistent or life changing or like enough to escape the traditional path or quit your job or whatever, right? Maybe you did run your SMMA or content HT, lead gen, maybe your Facebook ads or did an AI thing, whatever it is, right? Or maybe you're running as a copywriter or remote sales rep. Maybe you're on an offer that sucks and you're not making any money, stuff like that. But deep down, right, you're still exhausted, right? From either it's managing many clients or just working too much for what you're actually getting paid. And deep down, you also know you are capable of more, right? But the business model keeps you trapped, or you don't actually see a way to be able to make the kind of money you want within what you're currently at. Let's say you're a copywriter, you have one client or you have two clients, but you don't actually clear path to be able to get a bunch of clients, make a bunch of money like the people you see, right? So if you fall into any of these categories, I know exactly what it is. You are stuck because you are uh, leveraging business models that are designed to enslave you in a certain sense, right? Again, not to say that you can't succeed in these business models, right? I'm just saying for what it is, unfortunately, right now, right? Business models like having a typical SMMA or doing Amazon FBA or dropshipping, reselling, copywriting, remote sales. Again, these are all great business models if you know what you're doing, but there are like key problems with these, right? That not a lot of people actually point out, right? Because if you think about it, all of them check the boxes for what makes a bad business model to start. Trading your time in exchange for money. If you're starting online business, sure, being a sales rep, whatever, could get you experience. That's fine. But do you actually want to be able to trade your time in exchange for money and be able to work, 8 to 10 hours on your laptop just to be able to make some money and not be able to scale and actually remove yourself from the business? No, that's not what I want to be doing, right? Competing in massive saturation, not tapping into like booming industries or something that are currently working really well right now. That's not what you want to do. High upfront cost, like some kind of these business models, you need to run ads or hire a team, stuff like that. You don't want to be able to spend a lot of money, especially when you're just getting started. You don't need to want to juggle 10 clients. Let's say you have retainers for clients and it's just 1K a month. You don't want to deal with like 10, 15 clients. It's going to be a complete headache. You're not even going to have the freedom that you initially wanted when getting to online business, right? Or even sell thousands of Chinese products, right? Forget about that. That doesn't work, right? Um, Limited leverage, right? Income capped by how many hours you can actually work, stuff like that. These are all red flags if you want from these kind of business models, right? So now the question is, right, what actually makes a good business model to be like, okay, this industry is good. I just want to be able to go all in on that because I see the potential, because I know I'm going to be able to scale and stuff like that, right? And there's kind of three criteria for this you want to look for. Low barrier to start, right? You don't want to be able to spend thousands of dollars to be able to get started, similar to Amazon FBA and stuff like that, where you have to buy like $10,000 worth of stock and everything just to see if it's maybe going to work. Like, it's going to be very, very hard. And I bet you don't want to be able to lose 10K, right? You also need a good business model that should let you start with just your laptop, basic skills, and the right blueprint, right? Anybody with just a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection and just some basic skills can actually build a good business, right? You don't have to buy $10,000 worth of stock or do some crazy things, right? You also want a business model that's high leverage, right? Most people stay stuck in low leverage models, like when they're only making money when they're actively working. Writing ads is a good example, doing a copyright and stuff like that, building funnels or whatever it is, right? Especially like any kind of sales rep and stuff like that. So there's no scale in that. There's no really momentum. You're just in a constant cycle of trading kind of time for cash, right? And instead, you should actually just pick a model where your income isn't actually tied to the hours you work, right, directly, or something at least you can remove yourself from the actual business, because, okay, you can grind the first month, but you're going to realize that, okay, this is just like having a job. So what was the point of even getting into it, right? Where you don't need 10 clients to be able to hit 10K a month. Forget about that. And you're not stuck working around the clock just to keep things running, right? And you also want to be able to pick something, this is super important, that's built on a rising market demand. Like anything good thing, right? The people who made a bunch of money in crypto or a bunch of money in SMA, it's because they were early on, right? So you want to tap into industries that are growing right now, growing exponentially fast. Right now, SMMAs, I mean, I'm not saying that they're dead, right? But they've kind of hit a plateau. Not everybody knows about them. Everybody tried them. I tried them myself, right? So that's exactly what you want to do, right? So now that you know what you're looking for, you're probably wondering, where do I actually find a business model that actually kind of checks all these three boxes, and do I maybe know any, right? And that kind of leads us to the second step, selling the shovels. That's exactly what I meant when I was talking about it earlier in the video, right? Selling the shovels is basically the easiest way to be able to print money online, right? When people talk about financial freedom, they usually think about building a brand or some genius idea or discovering the new product or making the next Apple and stuff like that. And that's going to take off, whatever, right? But in reality, the smartest and easiest path has always been the same, right? It's to sell the shovels during a gold rush. During a rush where a lot of people are involved in something, you want to be able to sell the shovels to get more people interested in the gold rush, and that's how you make money with it, right? It's a principle that made people rich across every single industry, right? Whether it was the actual gold rush that actually happened in the 1800s, the rise of real estate, the movie e-commerce, or even the explosion of the online education space happening exactly right now, right? And the ones who make the most money aren't the ones digging actively for it. It was this one selling the tools, the systems, the strategies, the infrastructures on how to actually get into it, right? And prove it to you, I can take a look at history, and I'm not going to go exactly in depth, but it's just to show you that the California Gold Rush was something where there was a bunch of gold, whatever. I don't know exactly what it was about. But people who made money were the people just selling the actual shovels in itself, right? And that's exactly what's happening with the online education space as well, right? So my thesis with this is you don't actually get rich by selling online education yourself, because mainly if you want to be able to start in this, well, you have to be good at something. You have to actually help people, not just scam them, right? So do you know anything that's very, very valuable? Most likely not. Do you know how to market yourself? Probably not as well. So you don't actually do it by selling it yourself, right? Because most likely, like I said, you're not good at anything. You're not an expert at anything. You haven't made money at anything. Maybe you're not the best at the skill you have, whatever it is, right? You actually get rich, right? You have to get in this industry to be able to get rich, right? So how do you actually get into this industry? That's a real question. That's exactly what I figured out as well when I was just starting out. I tried all this business model. I was listening to all the other people, and I looked back to myself and I was like, these guys are making a bunch of money. How are they actually making a bunch of money? They're doing it by doing online education, which is what everybody else is doing. The second you see someone on Instagram, you go to their bio, they're already selling something, right? So because everybody's making money through that, how do I get involved in myself? And this is probably what you're thinking as well, right? And maybe you've heard about some different kind of business model, which is like growth operating, IPGA, stuff like that. It is similar. I mean, you are still getting in the same industry, but there's different variations of it, right? So again, to go back to my point, you actually get rich by becoming the info offer consultant, if you want, for experts in one specific field, and helping them and consulting them on how to do it themselves to be able to make more money. And the second you're in a position to help people make money, they're going to pay you. You're going to be able to make a bunch of money. That's exactly what it is by selling the shovels. You're showing them how to be able to do it. They make money. They pay you. Stuff like that, right? So again, you just consult them. You help them to launch your info products and scale their businesses, right? To give you an idea, and if you don't know, here are the pretty much the three biggest niches where experts, people are really, really good at what they do, are desperate to launch an info business. Could be wealth, could be health and relationships. Those are the three biggest ones, but there are so many more that a lot of people don't actually tap into, right? I know people who do whatever, like whatever kind of online education that they do, like how to be able to write properly, how to be able to draw properly, and they make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, right? So it doesn't really matter. But again, these are the three biggest ones that people are also actively looking to pay to be able to get help in, right? So how does freelance info consulting actually works, and why it is so powerful, right? The first step you want to do if you want to actually get into this industry and be able to make money with it is you have to find micro creatives, if you want to be able to call them, or experts, just people who are really good at what they do. Because again, you can sell the offer, you can sell an online coaching program or online course, you can't do it, but somebody that's really good at something, they can, right? And when I mean like selling online course and coach, I'm not just saying like, selling a dropshipping course and trying to scam people. That's exactly not what it is, right? There's a bunch of different industries you can get to, right? That's what you have to do. You have to kind of find these experts with one clear area of expertise that they can turn into a coaching business. These kind of people usually are under 20K followers. The reason for that is if people have, above 20K followers or above 50 or 100K. I have clients who have that personally, but it's just going to be very hard to land them and have them trust you, right? Concerning people who have smaller followers, let's say 1,000, 2,000 followers, well, they most likely have never gotten approached for it. So that's where the advantage comes in, right? Not saying it's bad to work with people who have a lot of followers. You can go for them, but it's also good to be able to work with experts who are just not very popular. That's also a good opportunity for you, right? um So you want to look for creators who have the potential to launch, like people you think can actually be able to make money with it. They have to be really, really good at what they do. That's the number one thing. Are posting content actively, so you know they're not like someone who's not active and stuff like that. It's gonna just be overall easy for you. Again, they don't have to have hundreds of thousands of followers, but still to be a bit active, if you will, right? They don't sell only online education right now. Maybe they sell in-person education, but they don't sell online education. Those are actually the best to go after, right? And they have decent credibility and audience trust if you want, right? And then you help build the offer, right? This is exactly the kind of statement that what an offer is. If you don't know, this is basically an offer, right? This is the one sentence that you're going to help them build, right? And the second, you actually help them package that expertise that they have, whatever it is, right, into a high ticket coaching or mentorship offer, a course, or whatever they actually want to do with it, right? You guide them, you consult them on how to actually work. And if you don't know how to be able to do that yourself, you're going to have to learn. And I went into this in another video, right? So you consult them on everything they need to launch, sell, and scale the offer properly, right? Because the thing with this is a lot of people want to get into this industry. They know everybody's selling coaching, stuff like that, but to be able to do it themselves, they have no idea. They don't have any idea on who to go to be able to have the help. So when you approach them with that, they get super, super interested. And that's why I've been able to see success. Because when I used to reach out to people in SMA, they got reached out like 15 times per day, right? But if I reach out to someone who's never been outreached before on how they can make money with what they're already good at, I'm not pitching them a new, brand new business model or to try things that they never tried. I'm just saying, like, you're really good at this. We can turn it into something that can make you money. You're interested? Yes. Okay. That's exactly what it is, right? And in many cases, what's good with these people is that you can sign them. You what you usually do is just sign them from an upfront fee, but you can also take a rev share, right? This kind of goes to maybe growth operating and stuff like that you've already heard about. You can do that as well. It's just I give you the opportunity, or I'm showing you the opportunity, or something I do to be able to work with people, not only with rev share, because there's some people you don't want to take rev share from because you don't know if they're going to perform, you don't know how it's going to be, you don't know what kind of effort they want to. So for you to be able to get into it with them and help them with the whole thing, you have no idea if they're going to put in the effort, you're going to burn yourself, right? So it gives you that flexibility of, do I take a rev share or not? Stuff like that, right? Number three, you start building a micro personal brand in the info space. Unfortunately, I've done this as well. Just my Instagram, just nothing crazy, but just be able to showcase yourself as someone who knows what they're doing. This is also super important. And people that you're going to outreach to are going to be able to look at your profile and stuff like that. So just, overall, maybe you want to post some content, maybe you want to just post some photos of lifestyles of you or whatever it is, just do that. Or maybe post some content on educating people on how to actually properly launch it. Do that on your Instagram, right? Then after that, you start stacking wins, sorry. You gather case studies and you become known as a person who turns untapped experts into high ticket machines and make a bunch of money, right? And then after that, I promise to you, clients are actually going to start coming to you. You guys should realize the amount of references I get when I help someone who's local from me. I actually went to go get a coffee with someone to be able to help out, and they're like, oh, I know like 2 3 persons who just would want to get your service immediately, because they're really good at what they do. They want to be able to get into online space and want to be able to make money, right? So I promise you, if you stick to it and you build this kind of micro personal brand, or you just get yourself out there, even just locally, right, you're gonna have clients start coming to you, right? And the crazy thing is, again, you don't need to create your own info product or build your huge personal brand. Really don't need to do that. You get to pay high ticket fees upfront without then doing the entire done for you work on yourself if you don't need to, right? If you do sign a client that has a lot of potential, maybe that has a bunch of followers, then do it, right? The model gives you massive leverage, right? Your income isn't tied to how many hours you grind because it's consulting, right? You're just showing them how to actually be able to do it. The majority do it themselves, right? Plus, you're operating inside a booming, huge industry that's currently growing, right? And now that you understand how the actual entire model works, let me actually walk you through the exact step-by-step roadmap. I used to go from $0, quitting my marketing agency, whatever, to signing my first client and then actually delivering some really good results, right? So here's the roadmap to follow. So initially, before actually starting to this, I actually got to know about more the industry, how it works, and how to be able to launch properly info products, stuff like that. So I did that my research before. But even if you're not a complete 100% expert, you're going to be able to figure it out as you go, right? So here's the exact roadmap to follow. So first, you want to find ideal clients, and you're going to be able to find them Sure, on YouTube, but mainly on Instagram. Why I find pretty much all my clients on Instagram. And what's great about that is that there's so many people on Instagram. There's so many people who are good at what they do, that are actively posting. There's so many people with so much potential, right? And that are really, experts at what they do. So it's just a question of being able to, reach out to them, uh, clearly just showcase what they're able to do. Put them first. Don't put yourself first. Put them first, and being able to tell them exactly what they can do and how much money they can make and stuff like that. And that's exactly the first one. So being able to find a bunch of people on Instagram, mainly, or maybe you too as well. You want to be able to start sending clients, right? This is one of the outreach messages. This was in 2024, right? So this was not too long ago. You can basically copy this message. I don't care if you want. I've changed it over the years, stuff like that. But this was someone who had a big account. This is specific to my clients that I'm currently working on right now. I do have a rev share in his business, stuff like that. But then also, I also work with people who, like I said, who don't have that many followers, stuff like that. So you can do either both. And then what I do, I send that, and then I basically just show them a free video asset, which I made. It's a presentation. It pretty much just takes like 4 to 5 minutes. Show them exactly how much they can make, the opportunity, how easy it is, what they have to do, and stuff like that, right? And just after they seeing this video, like a lot of the times that they maybe 50%, which is pretty big, they want to get on a call, right? Just because you made this personalized to them. It's not just general, it's personalized to them, right? Then you want to get them on a call, and then you collect anywhere from 1 to 4K payment. It depends on how experienced you are, how good you are at sales and stuff like that, right? And then again, what's great is that let's say you charge 2K, whatever. Okay, you get 2K, and then you work with them, and then if you see there's potential, you can upsell them to be able to do a rev share. So charge another maybe upfront fee, or be able to implement the systems to be able to have a rev share, right? So that's what's great about this industry, right? Is that you have the opportunity to be able to take a rev share if you want to, and if you see they can make money or not. That's the beauty of it, while not doing all the work for them on every single client. Because let's say if you sign, 5 rev share clients, it's going to be hard to deliver on every single them because you're doing stuff for them. And if you sign one client, you're like, okay, I'm going to be able to make 10K from this client. Well, are they actually going to put in the work? Are they actually going to be, consistent with the content? Those are all things you can't control, unfortunately, right? So it's good to have a mix of both. So that's that. And the phase three is delivering results, right? And there's a few things. This is exactly the roadmap I use with my own clients to be able to showcase them, right? This is specifically for consulting. I'll make another video on how it works for RevShare, but for consulting, it's actually pretty simple. And this is why it's great. You're not a service provider. You're not someone who has to deliver some crazy things and set up the ads and track the metrics and everything. It's a very simple consulting service. And the reason it sells is because people are actively looking for them, and there's not 15 people DMing them every single day for it. That's exactly why it works, and why I'm able to get all these clients every single month, right? It's exactly how it works. Onboarding, just show them the whole roadmap, then give them access to resources and information on how to do it themselves, right? This is the document I have that I give to every single client, which basically showcases everything they need to do to be able to sell their info product, create it, build it, film it, actually be able to launch it correctly. So just with that, they could do it themselves. But again, you're the consultant, and why they're going to pay you is because you're going to, set up the support and one-to-one calls. If ever they have questions about it, if ever they want to be able to jump on a call to get resources or help or whatever, you're there for that, right? And then after that, you still have to do weekly follow-ups and calls, because the problem is a lot of these people that you're going to sign, stuff like that, they're not going to be like that much push to be able to do the work, right? So that's why you have to follow up with them and make sure they're on target, and you actually can set up as well some tasks for them to do, stuff like that, right? And again, you can offer them rev share if they do perform, and that's exactly how you get results on my clients who made 23K in 20 days, stuff like that, right? That's exactly how you get results. Okay, so again, this is the whole business model. Why this business model works so much. You're the first one to see that everyone, you go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, people are all doing this, right? So you can know that it works. People are, making so much money from this specifically. So that's exactly what I saw, and I was just like, how do I get to the industry? That's exactly the way I've been able to get into the industry without selling a course myself and being a scammer, whatever. And that's exactly how I've been able to get results, right? So again, if you've tried a bunch of business models, you failed at it, you're not exactly sure where to go from here, you see all these people making money and stuff like that, you want to be able to get in this industry, right? I do want to be able to help a few guys out. If you want my help one-to-one, right? This is not a course I'm selling. I know I'm telling you that I'm selling courses, but I'm not actually selling a course for myself. I'm just doing some one-to-one mentorship if you want to be able to get my help. And be able to sign your first 5 clients. I'm going to show you exactly how to be able to reach out to those small accounts, be able to pitch them correctly, be able to sign them, set up the rev share, upsell them. I'm basically going to show you everything, right? And get to 10K a month, because I know that's a goal for a lot of people, or even less or even more. depends on exactly where you want to go, right? In 90 days or less, right? I do actually believe that if you exactly follow my blueprint, like my clients follow my blueprint and they make a bunch of money. If you follow my blueprint on how to actually get started with this, you're going to be able to make money. Again, this is on a course. I'm not just sending you videos and you're on your own. I'm actually having you one-on-one. We go on calls where I exactly show you how it works, right? So if that's any of interest, if it's not, no problem. Maybe watch other my videos or go back to the other business models that failed for you in the past. But if it's actually, you're actually serious, you actually want to get started on this, you want to be able to get to the industry and know exactly how to be able to make money through it without being the one who sells the course and everything, DM me YouTube on my IGDMs. It's going to be below. So you know exactly, I know exactly that you came from my YouTube directly, and I'll be able to, have a chat with you and potentially get you started, right? And if not, you want to be able to skip that. There's also a Calendly link, so you can just book a call directly with me, and then we can go from there. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you're not interested or you don't care, you want to try your own business models, no worries, right? You can also watch other videos where I go more in depth on how to be able to get clients, stuff like that. You can go check that out. But if you're actually serious in getting started, just DM me or book a call. We'll be able to have a chat.